So, I'm still working on the road, which means we're doing leave me alone, I just want to build shit mode. So, yeah, I'm gonna start the game. I'm gonna go into and have pause time and all of that fun stuff. I'm gonna fly back because I'm pretty sure my bicycle is. I put my bicycle out of the way so I could look at the map. Because the name bicycle was like covering up my my workshop on the map. I'm gonna get some coffee while this loads. So this is going to be fun for me to trim this out, but the basic gist is I'm going to reenact the getting trade routes thing. DM on, exit, pause the day. Weather is turned off, obviously. I gotta get my armrest centered on the keyboard here, so I'm doing what I need to be doing. So I should put some cubes down here so I'm not tempted to just blast through here. Did that actually, like, level the ground? Oh, shadow effect. Alright. So, yeah, I gotta finish, like... I got this paved. I went ahead and shot out this wall at that level right there and put some pavement in it. Because it was a mess all the way down. The side I kind of already went down and I put sand. I'm pretty sure it's sand. There's... Okay, dirt. Sorry. That is dirt. Sand is a different color. And that's just regular stone. But I paved this all the way down. This edge, yeah, right up to the mine, I already cleaved... You know, stand between the cubes right there and shoot straight down to get this a nice 45 all the way up there. I still got to do this whole section going down this way. I was already at level putting in pavement, so I went ahead and did pavement all the way up to the end here where it kind of goes brink. And that's the line right there where it stopped having cubes on top of it, so I have to do temp cube smoothing for the rest of this run going up there, which, again, I'm getting used to this. This is nothing new to me at this point. So, at this point, yeah, I'm gonna leave that little tag right there. Yep, both bicycles are over there, I think, right? Yeah, that was to get it off of the. Yeah, all right. So I'm going to fly back over there. And I'm going to resist holding the shift key because last time I did this recording, I was just kind of hovering through the tunnel, holding the shift key, and video compression on top of YouTube compression just turned it into an absolute mess. But this is not a trade route. This is an expressway to my workshop that's in the works. And as soon as I discovered a lead mine, like right where that weird framing was on the walls, instantly I had to get a workshop there to start processing the lead and the stone into stacks of stuff, because normally I just have one crate for collecting the stuff, and then I'll like finalize it with like a higher grade crate for actually working the mine once I have a perimeter in place. This road and excavating this, I'm already at 3 crates and they're all full, so I had to do something. Draw call distance could be a little better on this game, but I'm not going to complain too much because I know that's going to involve them switching this to UE5, and then it's just going to look like shit no matter what you do with it. But this is pre-existing road. I can't do anything with this stuff because it's never where it should be at the bottom of the cube. You kind of have to start where that is. And if you look at a map, you can kind of tell that it's different from this stuff. You know, that's actually 38 altitude, give or take the height of the character. This is like every single cube is a decimal point. So if you try to match up a road with it, it breaks. But this is pre-existing. Fairly straight route, really. Because I'm just going to fly down here. And the trader rect I started at is just up here. So, yeah, at this point, I am just like, I don't care anymore. I'm not even playing this game, really. I was just playing it to level up the character, because I was going to use this save to do some experiments out there that you can't see about what do zombies do with different wall types. But while I was working on the first 10 quests to get my bicycle, which I'm not going to use, there's no mods on that. That's the way it came. I've yet to see if there's like a white. It's almost bluish. Is that? No, it's white. I kind of like that. This is the one I grabbed out of the utility menu because I wasn't going to sit here and like grind like I did the other save. The one that's like 2.1 in the first menu there. So, the reenactment. I've just got the bike. I just got a thing about opening trade routes. We'll get back to that thing on the right. So, and yes, I fixed the grate here, just so I don't ever fall into that. So I'm like looking at the map, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, I guess I go this way, because I did go into God mode, and I flew around this ring here to get an idea of where do I build my experiments. But I didn't really expand beyond that. So I wasn't sure where, you know, where the roads were that went to Gen. And some of this may be boring, but it's to give an idea of how ridiculous some of this is. And yes, there are zombies that I'm driving past this entire way that aren't here because I'm in the leave me alone, I just want to build stuff mode. We'll ignore that project on the right because that doesn't exist yet. You know, we're still kind of level nothing. We just got the thing saying go find this Gen character. You know, about here I was able to look at the map and say, alright, I think I'm going this road and up that way, I'm guessing. Because that kind of goes north. Because there was like a tag way off in the distance that way. This is fairly okay so far. I mean, it's kind of straight routes. So far, I haven't run into a you can't get there from here roadblock. I vaguely remember a zombie camping out here, and when I came back down, the zombie was still there. The same one, so I don't know if there's like some that are like they spawn in at specific spots because there's lots of cars there to loot or something like that, but it was kind of interesting. We'll ignore those temp cubes off to the right. That's part of the ongoing project right now. Along with those 8 piles going into the ground there to make sure that the slope doesn't fall in. And ironically, that's the same spot that there was a lead mine. I haven't fixed that grate yet. You know, and immediately at this point, I'm looking at this, okay, I can't go that way. This road doesn't exist. So I gotta go this way, I think. And I'm asking myself, can I just go through that little thing to the right there? And I decided not to, because I didn't want to break my bike. You put like a 45, you know, the 6 hit points that are missing right now is for me driving down the dirt path that would become that road to the right. That should be dirt. I changed that because that's now part of the project. Now, I'm thinking I gotta go right here. Yeah, I'm just gonna slam into the wall, but like I can't get there from here. And the mark I'm going to is way the hell up there. So I mean, I can see the road from here, but you can't get there from here. Alright. We gotta go this way. And that's another dead end. Does that go somewhere? Can I get there from here? No. That doesn't go anywhere. Alright, I gotta go this way. Now, was it left or right that I have to go here? I think it's, no, that's a POI. And that's a POI, alright. Oh, right there. You can see that turning to the left there. You know, at this point, I'm starting to wonder, you know, I recall someone asking about making roads on Discord. The Guns, Nerds, and Steel, or whatever the order was. I'm sorry, Tamariki, I could never remember that, but... yeah, can I, like, blast through half of these houses and just make a straight road from over there, maybe? And where am I? Okay, alright. So I finally made it through that map. Now I can go north, right? Is this the road? Yep. This looks like it, right? Because at this point, it went off. This was in fog still, so it was like, how many more of those intersections am I going to be putting up with? There's a trader wreck to the left. I was thinking maybe I can move a workshop up here, but I wasn't sure about it. Yeah, I did replace that one because I was traveling back and forth on this road so much. So I did eventually set up a couple of mines up here to get supplies. I don't know if the game's going to do it. It's up here, it went to like super dark rain and everything. We're flickering in and out of the pine forest, so that's why it's getting dark. Two really tall trees up there. We're just going to ignore those. Those don't exist. Because this is like a reenactment of my first travel up here. There were those flaming zombies everywhere, and I'm going, oh wow, I gotta dodge that one, I gotta dodge that one. I don't know if I can even attack them yet. So I think I had like a tier 6 bone knife or something like that on me. I really was ill-equipped for doing this run. And we can see the church up there. At this point, I'm like, home free. And then, in the original video, I'm looking around at all of these campfires, and I'm thinking, that's free coal. And somewhere up here, in the left and the right, it gets kind of clearish. Because I took like 10 minutes, and I ran around and I collected them. Because it was just so dense that you could stand in one spot and just kind of point at and collect them with the stone axe. And I think I got like 400 coal from that. And then when I found an actual coal mine, you know, it wasn't even 10 minutes and I had over 1,000 coal from that. So now we're at Jen's, we've got the quest completed, and at this point, I'm looking at the map and going, WTF. Is there some way that I can, like, cut a road here to here, or some way to bypass this entire mess? Because that took so long to get through. Even on the way back from this, I went ahead and did it again, knowing the direction, and it was a grueling long travel. And eventually I'm looking at the map going, okay, I can connect this road to this road, and this appears to be about 500 east. I can make a road down to 500 east here. This is at 38 elevation. This, and this is at 38 elevation. And the name of the quest that had me coming up here was called Opening Trade Routes or something like that. So, you know, start the clock at this point. It's exactly 5 p.m. local time, according to the computer, which I never set the time zone on. So, I forgot to grab coffee. We get coffee. We turn on the bike, turn off the hood, and yeah, it's still 5 p.m. Let's go. So a little sidetrack. After I had done this trip, I had looked at this mess on the right here. And there was a steel mine and 2 nitrate mines all within that one confined space. And I said, I am working that. And then I discovered a coal mine. And then over here, there was a nitrate mine. And then across the street there, in the ground, is a lead mine. It just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And, you know, eventually I'm like, I can only think of one thing that's like the largest thing ever man-made thing moved by mankind, the Troll-A platform. And like the Troll-A platform, most of it you can't see from the surface. So it looks like a little fort on the surface, but it goes down to bedrock. And it goes to the other side of the road. I put a land claim block there that barely covers where the workbench is and the tower at the front. And I would have to put 4 more land claim blocks down to actually get the entire wall encased by that. It's that large. So one of the things I'm going to do eventually, because I do have a video up and people do kind of like that, is along here, it was the other map, so there wasn't this weird fence across from Trader Rect, but I'm going to do like a progression of how I ended up with the little workshop, temporary workshop that I have now. It started out as like a row of 4 crates on the ground and a 4 cube wide pillar of safety that I could barely reach them from, but the rain wouldn't stop, so I put like a little roof over my head, and then I decided I want a little roof over my head down on the ground. And that was when I discovered that some of those railings, I want to do a 45 there, cut that corner. Some of the railings and stuff, you can't access the crates through, so I ended up with the double pillar thing. So, back to this little mess. The road to the right doesn't exist yet, but this was like the first one I did. I went ahead and connected the one to the left because it's just like right there. This is barely skirting the edge of those temp blocks right there. Are just outside the POI. I thought the metal frame was, but when I started digging that, I discovered it wasn't. A little bit of mistake here, working the 45. I still got to dress this side. Behind me, I thought I was going to go straight to that road, and it didn't work out because the POI was between the end of the tunnel and that road. And I decided if I'm going to be doing weird 45s, I'm just going to cut the corner to that other road anyway, make it shorter. I think that's a steel mine to the left back there. I'm not working that from the tunnel because confined spaces and zombies, bad idea. I tried to save this road, but it came down on me when I was putting temp blocks under it. That, I think, is another steel mine I've yet to work. I just put like a bridge over it. This was dirt that I replaced with pavement. The rock is like 500 hit points, so it's not one punch for a zombie. This dirt, on the other hand, is like 200 hit points. The zombies will one punch it, so that's why I put the pavement down to give it a little more resilience. Some of that right there was so close I just had to cut it down anyway. I don't remember what that mine was right there to the left, but again, same thing. And this is what I want it to look like at the end. Nice, beautiful walls, landscaping there, railing. So, I'm going to say 5:06, even with stopping to get coffee. We are here. You can time the video if you want, go back and look at it. So, yeah, significant reducing of unnecessary turns and stuff. So it's just a little 45 right out to about 500 east. And then I just dug straight. Same elevation. Yeah. Steel mine. Steel mine. What was that other one? It doesn't say. According to that, it's just stone. So I don't know. Maybe I'm going to have to work that one to figure out what it is. There was a bit of a nitrate mine here that I emptied out, hence the framing right there. So, yeah, that's the corner of the POI, and the big question is, if I ever do this POI, is it going to delete my road? You know, what's the radius where... I know they put cars back on the road when you reset these sometimes, and the cars are beyond where the corner here says you're in the POI. So this other expedition that I'm working on right now is a road to go down to what will be my final workshop here, which is somewhat central location of the burnt biome, the corrupted biome, the winter biome, and the desert biome. Yeah, I get direct route up to there, which is that and that. Eventually, I'm just going to connect this up to there, maybe. Because messed up, you can't get there from here. There's a gen there, there's a gen there. This road needs to connect to that. Then there's this road here, which is this road here, which somehow leads to this gen. But I may just dig a tunnel from here straight through the mountain to there. It's a different elevation. This, if I vaguely remember looking at the map, was like 48 or something like that. This is 38, 38, 38, 38. So I can do just flat roads on most of this. It's just getting... This area here is a different elevation. But thankfully, for once, the road is straight. Unlike this mess here where it's like... Your eyes are not deceiving you. I plowed right straight through here and laid down pavement already. I've marked where I'm going to do a 45 here because there should be an intersection here, but these roads aren't at the same elevation. They're not at cube height. You know, and by cube height, I mean when you put down a cube, the pavement doesn't suck up or down to it. And when you do that, you end up with like an abrupt change in elevation, and that's how... Oh, you can't see it. You know, you know, the abrupt change in elevation is how I got damage to my bike. So anyway, you know, down here, this road doesn't lead to Trader Bob. The only way to get to this Trader Bob is via one of these two roads that snakes around to there and this Trader Bob. So somehow magically you got to get to that Trader Bob to get to this Trader Bob. And I don't know how you do that yet, because this road up here, it just ends right there. It doesn't even make it to the desert biome. So where does this road go? I mean... It doesn't go there. It goes down here and it snakes back into the forest biome and then just ends. There's an intersection to everything right here for this to connect to, and it just doesn't. Kind of like here. Like, what the... Why does this road not connect to that? And why... What... Can you not get there from here? So, yeah. After digging this tunnel, I went up and I started working this mine here. And then I started working this mine, and I started working this mine. And at that point, I'm like, you know what, to hell with it. I started this play because I wanted to see what zombies do with different types of walls and climbing up stuff, not to actually play the game. So I've been using God mode to fly around since then, surveying and figuring out, you know, I want convenience for me while I test things. So, So there's the wonderful opening trade routes that I did. Peeled that up, put down pavement, right up to about there where it turns to stone. Stone. This is, you know, I counted out 2 cubes and then I went up 45, 2 cubes, 45. Because it's the closest we can get to like a 2-to-1 slope And I did my best to not mess with the elevation here, so it looks somewhat natural. But here I wanted it flat so that it's like obvious that it turns to the right. Because, you know, it's incredibly difficult to understand what it's like to not know something. You know, once you know something, it's like, well, I know that. Why didn't you know it? Well, you know, because they didn't make the road. Maybe I'm not paying attention. I need a reminder that the road goes that way. So, that right there, it was so close to bottom of cube height right here that I was able to like save the road. And this is just basically a trough with pavement in it. It's nothing really that special. With a little bit of dressing on the outside. I couldn't quite find a triangle that goes in like 45 there and then cuts flat with this here or something like that. So I may make this just a cube going out, another pillar here to match that, and this side. But I haven't decided yet. That's like the plate ramp and then 2 plates there to give a little bit of extra protection here in case the zombie decides to start beating on that bridge. Yeah. Same thing there. This is okay. Some of this, it gets kind of close, and I may just cut it out and put steel on the top of the tunnel and then just like re-landscape it. I keep thinking about cutting this corner so I can come down this road and turn around, but again, it's like, if you look at the map, there's a road right here already. So, like, why am I turning around? And as far as going from here to this route, that is an obvious shortcut change right there, POI or not. So, yeah, this was going to be the original. And then right about here, it got to the POI, and I started to shift it out, and you know, I got to the point where I was deleting the railing, and then it was like, if the POI resets, is it going to put the railing back? And ultimately, that means if I pull the railing up here to make this road to connect to there, why not just make that road anyway, which is what ended up happening. And then as I was paving this, I'm like, I'm right there, I may as well connect these two. This pillar here is another corner I'm not sure about. I am here. I'm in a POI. So that square is not in the POI, that square is. And it's kind of the same here with the railing. And the paving stones. Paving stones, you're not in the POI. Now you're in the POI. So that corner I'm not too sure about. This one, I don't think is a POI. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting. And now video compression makes this look like garbage, but I'm going to this other corner up here. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking when I was like trying to figure out where this this intersection needs to be, well, this corner needs to be. I wasn't actually digging, I was just placing these things, and I decided I should immortalize where those cubes were with like metal. So it was like, that's okay. Now I'm in the POI, and I was like, I don't know what I was thinking, but after I like drilled this one and I got to the top, I'm like, I'm in the POI. Is it here? Where does it end? It ends there. So I gotta move that to there, which raises questions about this, because originally I was like, maybe I'll put the road there, and I moved it a little further away because I didn't want the POI resetting the ground. And I can't move the road any further because it's already, where the corner turns into the tunnel is already up against the end of the tunnel, unless I bring the end of the tunnel down. And at this point, it's like, it's sent. I'm not doing that anymore. Aerial view of this. Draw call distance is gonna, like, determine how much we can see. You can barely see the hints of the tunnel there on the right, but it's not totally, like, rendered in or anything. And on the left there is where it connects to the road. I put the railings in because I needed the temp blocks that was along here to mark out the other expedition over here. And I realize this is like already 30 minutes, but this road is going to connect to both of those farm roads and that road coming down from there where the coffee jar lid is. There's a road that goes, there's like a huge mining district over here, so I wanted a connection there anyway. And then when I started like building my workshop over here, that happened. So that's what I'm kind of in the middle of working on. Had a little bit of a detour because of a lead mine right there. And the plus is like a circle and a plus indicating to me that I need to go and work that mine a stat because it looks really promising with 2 iron stones right there. Got one there. Got one there. Got one there. Working that one. That looks promising. That's another one. That's like a quad lead mine that looks promising. There's this up here that looks promising, but I was like already working this quad and simple coal mine that turned into a nitrate mine. And then there's this mess that, alright. Anyway. So yeah, that's where the plus came from. And afterwards I'm thinking it looks like a hospital like location. But the shape of this right now almost resembles like some kind of monument or something for like... Expect to see like some kind of plaque of like in World War I or World War II something happened here kind of... But that's just side effects of these are piles that are going to be supporting the floor of the workshop. This is going to be paved in here so that I can turn around and that's going to be cleaved off there. That's going to be cleaved off. I'm going to cleave this off as another like option for turning around because this is all like at 38 elevation here, unlike the rest of this ground, which is why I have the pillars over there. And this is already a long video, so I may as well show it. I know the game doesn't simulate the the road falling in kind of thing, but this also served as like, these are the bedrock connections for the framing that was holding up the roof of the lead mine, and I put these cubes at the lowest spot at that vertical location in the mine, so you can see how it like is kind of cool shaped. That's the ladder that I use to get in and out of the mine. Couple of piles on this side to hold that whole setup up just in case. So I didn't have to worry about, while I was excavating it, I didn't have to worry about, is there a pillar here, a pillar here, a pillar here? And then afterwards I like just filled in the roof of the hole I made with those steel cubes, and then I just filled it in with stone, and now it's just like a memorial to the lead mine that was here. And yeah, I grabbed that stone out of the developer thing to put there as like a reminder in the future. I need to do that to the steel mine that's over yonder, but that's the current project, is making this road so that I can get from the Burnt Realms all the way down here in a hurry, with massive stocks of materials to turn into steel and cobblestone and stuff for my projects. So, from a slowly developing workshop, I have much work to be doing with opening trade routes, so be cool, y'all.